Hello, everyone. Hi, love lovers. Bonjour. So, today we are talking about Adele and Rich Paul, right? We know that they engaged, they have finally announced it officially that they are engaged. So, let's see the vibe, right? So Adele was born in the UK actually, so that makes her a foreigner to her man, right? Rich Paul, because Rich Paul was born in the US, right? So Adele was born on the 5th of May 1988, while Rich Paul was born on the 16th of December 1981, right? So I was just thinking that yesterday when I was talking about Big Sean, I had a bit of chuckle because in my head I just thought of Nicki Minaj's song where Nicki Minaj says, "Big Sean, how big is your?" So that came, that popped up in my head, and I had that chuckle when I was describing Big Sean, and yeah. Anyway, Adele. We know Adele, right? She's like the goddess of music, right? She sings beautifully. She carries herself in a beautiful manner. Like, I like that she doesn't need to do a lot of stuff for us to give her our attention. Like, she's just so talented and just incredible, like just incredible. And Rich Paul is a sports manager, director, agent, so he's into sports. And I can see why he's in sports, because his Mars is actually conjunct with his Saturn is of profession, but in Virgo of work, right? So every time when Mars, as I told you guys previously, every time when Mars is conjunct with Saturn, it actually professes into something physical that is done physically, right? And okay, so that was just like just an astrology thing, but it doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about. So let's get into the juice. But before we get into the juice, right, I would like, to just, ask for your patience, ask for your, I don't know what, right, but for your understanding, because I'm going to be uploading, I think, one video every day. I will try to upload a video a day, because I was just looking at our journey on this channel. I started this channel when I was pregnant with my son, so I was making all of those videos pregnant, and continuing, of course, after the delivery. And now my son is 15 months, right? So it's like I'm growing two babies, my son and this channel at the same time. And they were produced at the same time as well. So I would like to grow the channel even more, like to have many videos, so that by the time I send my son off to school, because in France all children must start school at 3 years old. Like, we don't have a choice, it's a rule, it's the law that at 3 years old all the children must be at school. So I would like, by that time I have at least over 1,000 videos. Right? So yeah, so just bear with me. Now I'm just gonna put up videos so regularly, like because now I have this new goal of, by the time I send off my son to school, this channel should have, grown in production, or in the, products that I'm doing, right? So yeah, anyway, let's get into the juice. Very first thing that, I see here, and you guys can see, is that Adele, our girl, is a Gemini, right? A Gemini with Venus on her ascendant, just like Ben Affleck, right? And what we see here is that opposition to Rich Paul's Neptune there, right? And there's a Neptune vibe, but then the Neptune that he comes with in her seventh house, by the way, it's coming with Sun, it's coming with Mercury at the same time, right? So it means that anytime when you have Neptune coming to overlay in the seventh house, then the partner, like you start to not see your partner in the truest form that they are. There's a lot of coverage that is happening. I always say, like, there's a fog. It's like a fog. So it's like a fog that is covering who Rich Paul is in terms of how Adele sees him, right? So Adele could be having, a different view of who he really is, and then it turns out that he's actually somebody else, but there's a nice a nice or a positive thing, right, which is that Sun that he also comes with here. So the Sun, because it's conjunct with Neptune, in the same degrees and all of that, it's also giving, some ability to shine the light into his personality, right, which is okay. So it means that sometimes so there would be times when she can, see some qualities about him, real qualities about him, of who he really is, and then at times, that goes away, right, depending obviously on the transits as well. So I'm also seeing that because Mercury is conjunct with Neptune and Sun, like his Neptune and Sun are conjunct with his Mercury, also in the seventh house, there could be some exaggerations or some lies spoken, and because Neptune, like I said yesterday, when Neptune is conjunct with Mercury, there are lies or miscommunications or misunderstanding in communication. So one person says says something else, and the other person hears another thing, or the other person deliberately says something that is not true, so as to convince the other partner of this thing, right? So this is what it means, and it's in the seventh house of spouse and businesses and public and all of that, right? What is clear though is that she has experienced some sort of transformation, in her career through this relationship, because of her Venus, making that aspect to that square aspect to his own Venus, right? So lots of transformations, definitely, and these have given her both the losses and gains as well at the same time, right? But because his own Venus is conjunct with Ketu, so she would have likely suffered some losses as well through, being in a relationship with him one way or the other, right? They do have a beautiful trine between, their moons, and this is very nice because it gives a flowing emotional understanding, a flowing emotional a care, nurturing type of a vibe, all of that care that we look for in relationships. So they give that to each other with understanding and acceptance and warmth. So this is beautiful. This is a beautiful trine, and I love it. However, I do see that sometimes he could be experiencing some sort of psychosis at times, due to his moon being conjunct with her Ketu and Lilith. So meaning that at times he could be experiencing some traumatic like a shock to his either emotions or mind, because of that Ketu. Like he would get hurt so much that he can't believe it, but because of the trine again to the moon, also get soothed at the same time. All right. So I do see that her Saturn is conjunct with his sun again in that 7th house. And now I'm going to give you a secret for today, guys, so please don't tell anyone. It's just for us, okay? So guys, every time when Saturn is conjunct with the sun in synastry, it tells us that one of the partners is going to feel a bit small in their identity, and the other one is gonna feel pumped up, right? And because most of the time the Saturnian partner, which is Adele at this point, could feel a sense of okay, I should bow to sun, I should respect this my sun partner, right? This would happen a lot, but in this case it's not really her main focus. Why? Because her Saturn is actually retrograde, meaning that her Saturn in the 7th house is not really affecting her 7th house, but it's looking backwards. It's focusing on the work. It's focusing on the 6th house things. It's focusing on her work, her daily routines, the people that she works with, her diet, her health, all of that, all right? So she doesn't have time to feel small, or she feel like she must bow to him in such a sense, like where I see this happening a lot. So because of her retrograde Saturn, her focus is always facing backwards, and not really in this conjunction with the sun. So that's a secret for today, guys. I'm just gonna give you some of the secrets here and there, and as I said yesterday, and the other ones I leave for the premium subscribers. I feel like I do a lot of marketing, but I'm a Gemini, so laugh with me. So now let's get into the predictions. All right, now I'm going, because they are not in the same age. She's 36 and he's 42, turning 43 soon, at the end of this year. So I'm going to make like what you call it, like from age 35 and up to age 44, so that I can look at both of their lives in terms of this relationship and age, right? So when I look at from age 35, because I don't want to start 34, 33 whenever they met, because they met in 2019 and they went public in 2021. So now what was happening when she was 35 years old? Her progressing Venus was conjunct with her natal Venus, right? So meaning that at this time, she could have been at the peak of her feelings in terms of this relationship, because remember, her natal Venus is on her ascendant, right? So she could have been feeling all of the love, she feeling in love as well, and feeling healed in the relationship itself, right? And at this time enforcing maybe the need to be married because it's looking at her own certain right there, right? But at the same time, because of all of that vibes of Neptune being here, it could have also been like a rose-colored situation at this time, right? But what I see is that the progressing Ketu and progressing Saturn of Reach, right, at this time, we're going over her sixth house, okay, meaning that his work, like the need to work, profession, and all of that, was focusing on her own work. So it's like maybe pushing their work, pushing their focus on work. So that was what is going on in his own mind at this time, right? All about work and all of that, all right, whilst she's feeling love and in love and and with the rose colored glasses, like seeing what she wants to see, basically, right? In the words of Beyonce, she was drunk in love. Anyway, so at the age of 36, I see that her progressive Venus at this time got conjunct with Rahu. Actually, she's 36, so her progressive Venus is right now conjunct with his Rahu. And every time when a Venus is with Rahu, there could be some, as I said, some foreign influences in the relationship. There could be some foreign vibes, like, and in some instances, it could be cheatation, and in some instances, it could literally be experiencing the love, but in a foreign environment, maybe going to visit a foreign country, a foreign place, whereby you guys, you amp up your love, you experience your love to the maximum, but there's a foreign vibe that is going to be experienced this time because of her progressing Venus conjunct with his Rahu, right? But what is very, very important is that her progressing Venus right now, as I speak, is going opposite his Venus, right? And remember, his Venus is conjunct with Ketu. So again, giving that space again of a third party, a foreign thing, or them experiencing a foreign influence in the relationship, right? Because it's science, it has to science, right? And now I see that age 37 next year, her progressing Venus is going to be attaching itself to her own Ketu and her own Lilith, right? So at this time is also going to be conjunct to his moon, okay? Every time when Venus and moon are together, they enforce, some sort of good vibes. As I said, they both have the same mentality. They want to give love, they want to give nurturing, they want to give affection. But from the Vedic point of view, thanks to KRS, right, Kapil, moon has a tendency to cheat. So when moon is attached to Venus, again, cheatation is highly possible here, right? And because it's going to be with her own Ketu, again, some sort of distance, some sort of space. But again, if they are going into a foreign environment, experiencing enforcing the foreign part into their relationship, then these cheatations don't happen. So that's another solution that I could give you guys. Like, if you see that you are going to experience like your Venus is going to your progressing Venus is going to attach to your Rahu or to your Ketu, be deliberate about it. Align yourself with the planets, with your chart. Find something foreign that is going to satisfy the Rahu in your relationship. So find something foreign that is going to tell Rahu, okay, here's the foreign element that is going to happen. I already give to you. Okay, so don't take away my relationship. Don't give me cheatation. Don't give me that. I'm already giving you something foreign. Okay, so maybe you and your partner, you could go out to a different region together, stay there for a week or whatever. Look at your degrees to see how long you should stay. So you stay there for and experience that foreign vibe, or stuff like that, so that then you both don't feel like you have to cheat or you have to bring a weird vibe to the relationship. So that's a solution that I'm also giving you today. But of course, look at your chart, look at your degrees, and see how long you should do something before you do it. Okay, because this is a generalized solution that I give, and I don't know your personal charts. You can book a session to know your situation, so that you are confident in the solutions that you apply. Okay, anyway, for him right now, just after he turns 43 in December, his progressing Venus is going to be conjunct with his own Mars and Saturn. Remember remember Saturn with Venus, when they together, they want commitment. So at this time, he could be wanting to be married, like, oh, let's get married now is the right time. We've been engaged for a long time. I want to get married now this year. Please, let's get married, right? And at this time, when she turns 38, when she turns 38, so possibly when they do get married, they could go and have the marriage in a foreign country like Italy, like like a foreign place. And if they do this, it's going to be beautiful, because then it's going to match the foreign vibe that I see coming into the relationship, right? And then when she turns 38, her progressing Venus is gonna be conjunct with his Mars and Saturn. At this time, it's telling me that they are buying property. They will buy property at this time together for sure. And and if they don't buy the property, because Mars has got the lower degree, Mars could give an argument here about also maybe property, about stuff like this, right? Or about work related stuff, right? And at 39, when she turns 39, I see here from both charts, from his chart and from hers, that when she turns 39 and when he turns 34, they could have a child at this time. They could decide to fall pregnant or have a child. And but I do see that he is going to not be so involved in the bringing up of the child. There's going to be like some distance, but they would have a child when she turns 39 and she turns 44, right? So I think I just want to stop here, because I don't want to go beyond 44. Yeah, because around 45, things could be a bit tough in their marriage. There could be like some problems happening at this time, but it's far off, so we don't look at it. We can revisit, as the years go, we can revisit all these charts that we've done. So yeah, but around 45 I see some big problem, but it's far off. We'll just revisit at some time. And I do like to focus more on the downsides or the shortcomings of relationships, because these are mostly what people will not discuss, or what people will not look at. So no one really talks about the negatives. Most of the time people like talk about the good stuff, which everybody can see. So it's nice to have also another side of what is going on, right? With that said, I must thank you guys, and I'll chat to you soon. Yeah, subscribe, like, and comment, and subscribe on the website as well. Be it so. Ciao, ciao.